Today on Breakout Boxing Spotlight. Let's talk about it. After capturing the fastest stoppage in small creator boxing to date, DDK is here to take on Ezaa, a man who he has been scheduled to fight 2 times prior. He is here to show his worth. He is here to talk the talk and walk the walk. And although he is a man with many things to say, we can jump straight into the interview to see what he has to say. Because today on Breakout Boxing Spotlight, we talk to DDK! Ladies and gentlemen, it is once again breakout time. We are back for another episode of Breakout Boxing Spotlight. And today, the spotlight is on DDK. Let's talk about it because today is a special interview for a special man who is competing in the main event against Ezaa, who he claims he has a lot of names for him. You will hear throughout this interview. What's up, DDK? How are we today?
What's up, Pat? I'm good, man. How y'all doing?
Doing good, my friend. It's always good to see you in here. Obviously, I want to take it back to even before '03. How did we get here? How did you end up in the small creator scene? And how did you end up making such a big splash, getting the fastest stoppage in small creator boxing to date?
Really just hard work, honestly, being consistent and just believing in something. You understand what I'm saying? So, like, when you answer the first part of your question, how did I get into the scene? I was always watching the scene because I'm a boxing fanatic. So I love boxing, whether it be pro boxing or influencer boxing. So once I came across the community on Twitter, I immediately went and joined the boxing gym. I'm like, well, they getting together, they having events, everybody's training, get ready. And got an opportunity on '03. The same way that I put the work in inside the boxing gym, I put the work in outside with promotion and creating content and being consistent on social media, specifically Twitter. And, was gracious enough to be moved up to the main card. And all of my hard work paid off come that day at '03 when I got the fastest stoppage in breakout history. And, I'm just fortunate enough and appreciative that you guys brought me back for '04 and we back at it again, but this time for gold. So, yeah.
Speaking about gold, you are fighting for the heavyweight title. Your first fight was against Intrepid, and that was only a couple months ago. And now you have propelled yourself enough to fight for the title. What does the title mean to you? And how would it feel to become a breakout champion?
Well, I feel like to me the title means everything to me personally because it just symbolizes all of the hard work. You know what I mean? And people can say what they want to about us being, I'm sure you hear the noise, Pat, the homeless boxing and this and that, small creators, that are allowed, but like we put a lot of work in, bro. Like honestly, I know the work that you guys put in behind the scenes of being around at '03. I know the work that other fighters are putting in, and I for damn sure know the work that I put in, right? So really just getting the opportunity to even be in the main event for one, to compete for the first ever breakout heavyweight championship, two, and then three, being victorious come July 27th, it would just kind of dot all my I's and cross all my T's in a way in terms of I came into the community months ago and nobody knew who I was, and now I'm on top.
You're on top, and that goal is to become breakout champion, but not only raising that belt as a symbol of championship, a symbol of hard work and dedication. Your hard work and dedication is going towards Ezaa. And even before the fight was confirmed, you guys have a long, storied history. This fight seems to really mean a lot to you based on the fact that it had been booked 2 times prior. So what does it mean to finally get in the ring with Ezaa to settle your differences, number one? And number two, what are your true thoughts and opinions about him? Because you have said a lot in the build-up. Big stank, talking about how he's big, a bunch of insults towards this man. But is there a little bit of respect, an ounce of respect in there? Or are you going to take everything from him as a man in there in the ring?
Well, first and foremost, I respect anybody who's willing to put on gloves and get inside that square circle. That's for one, at any level, because I don't care what people say about whatever level you at. It's still boxing. And at the end of the day, it's two dudes in there or two individuals with two hands who are both capable, right? So I respect him for getting in the ring off top. I know I talk a lot of shit, but make no mistake, I'm not overlooking anybody, right? But to answer the first part of your question, yes, me and Ezaa were slated to fight twice before. The first time it didn't work out, and the second time, no shade to the breakout higher up. I understand business. I understand it had to be what it was, but I was kind of pushed to the side. Call it spade a spade. It is what it is. I ain't got no hard feelings. There's no hard feelings. I'm here with you. I'm here, but the truth remains the same. DDK was pushed to the side for the bigger fight. I understand. Again, I understand business. I know it's satire me speaking right now, but I mean, it's the truth. At that time, the bigger fight or the biggest fight in the community was Lesnar versus Heat. Nobody knew who little old DDK was. So for me, it was kind of just enduring that, staying true to the grind, staying true to the content, still showing up at O3, still handling business, still carrying myself. I know we're not professionals, but carrying myself in a professional like way. Here I am. I got another opportunity. And to the second part of your question, like I said, man, I respect him as a man for getting in the ring, but come that day, July 27th, I won't show no respect in the ring. I'm coming there to do a job, and that job is to be here. I need to break out heavyweight championship, and that's what I will do.
DDK, that's a phenomenal answer. Now, you have the fastest stoppage in small creator boxing to date, and that's overtopping the big man, your mother's favorite fighter, Lesnar Gomez. Okay? It's a hard thing to do. It's a hard feat to crash. Your opponent in the ring, Intrepid, is also fighting on this event.
Yeah.
Are you expecting a little bit more from your boy Intrepid? What are you feeling about him, and how do you feel he's recovering from that loss? Because I know that you guys were a huge fight. Let it be known, Ezaa and Ezaa was a big fight, but DDK, that fight was fucking awesome, man. You saved him from falling down the stairs. You guys were going back and forth with each other. It was an awesome build-up.
Yeah.
I love Raul. I love Intrepid. I got a lot of love for you. But I just want to know what you're feeling about him real quick while we're in this interview.
Absolutely. I feel like Intrepid has definitely improved. And if you catch what I'm saying, what we were talking about before the interview started off camera, even in that outside of the ring, Intrepid has really gained traction in the community. He's done what you're supposed to do. You understand what I'm saying? Like, even if he was the guy way back when where people saw him in a certain light or didn't see him in a certain light, since the loss, he's bounced back and now he's arguably in a better position now than he was before the loss, right? And I feel like, truthfully speaking, Intrepid is one of the guys that is the epitome of or is walking into what the epitome of being a smart creator boxer is. Intrepid create content, Intrepid consistent on the TL, and Intrepid is slated to fight. You understand what I'm saying? So win, lose, or draw, he's still doing what he's supposed to be doing inside the ring and outside of the ring. So to answer your question, yes, I do believe that Intrepid is definitely improved, and he's done what he was supposed to do. Keep his head down, get better, stay consistent inside and.
That's good to hear. It's good to see a little bit more camaraderie coming from you guys after you guys went head to head. I got to ask you a question, DDK. You dedicate yourself to the sport, okay? You're inside the gym. You don't really talk much about it. Can you give anyone a little bit of insight to how this training camp might be a little bit different from Intrepid going into Ezaa? Because when we spoke to you guys, it was almost a month ago. Ezaa, when we spoke to him in our interview earlier today, he seems very confident in his strength and he seems very confident in himself. What are you doing in training camp in the gym to prepare for Ezaa? Differently than Intrepid.
Well, for Intrepid, I had no MO on Intrepid, right? Intrepid really refused to post content. He used it to his advantage, right? You don't know what you don't know, right? So I don't blame him for that. But I didn't know what I was training for. So I was really training like a madman on every single aspect, right? Like physically, mentally, sparring, my footwork, everything was really, I was just really going crazy in the gym. And even before Intrepid, I've been working like crazy, right? This time it's a little different because I know who and what I'm training for. I've seen Ezaa fight before, twice, and I've seen him fight once. I've seen him fight twice, once in person, right? And so if you really know boxing, which both of you guys, both of you gentlemen do, you know that sometimes it look a little different in person than it do on camera, right? And I feel like that's one thing that has given me an advantage, or both of us, and it's a little bit of insight into each other, is because I've been able to see either. I'm sorry, am I still here? Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
I had an alarm that went off. I'm sorry. I still had I was able to see Ezaa in person. So for this training camp, it's a lot more technical, a lot more tuning up fine details, and a lot more getting myself really, really in tip top shape. The best shape I've ever been in physically, to be honest.
It seems like you're there mentally already, but it also seems you're there physically too. You're definitely ready for this heavyweight fight. I want to ask a little bit what happens after this heavyweight fight. Win, lose, or draw, okay? DDK, you have definitely made a splash in this scene.
Oh, hold on, my bad, Pat. Let me ask you a question. Is that cool?
Yeah, of course.
So you said you was interviewing Big Stank earlier, right?
I did.
So I don't know if you. It's kind of a question slash statement, but it's funny that you guys say that. Oh, he seems so confident. He seems so, da 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 da. Ezaa is relying on one thing and one thing only:
What is
his
that?
strength. You said it yourself. His strength. He was very confident in how strong he is. He has said it multiple times publicly on the TL. He believes that I'm a smaller heavyweight. He believes that I'm frail. I only spar smaller guys. Yada yada yada. Right? He's literally relying on his strength. That's all he's relying on. But muscles don't win fights. Strength doesn't win fights. You understand what I'm saying? So Ezaa can be as confident as he want to be in whatever false reality he created in his head. I was talking to Ezaa the other day on his space, and this motherfucker told me that he's sparring so hard in the gym and he's really training and he's really ready. I said, Ezaa, what you been doing to prepare for DDK? Oh, been sparring 6'6" and 6'7" guys. Hold on, time out, player. I ain't 6'6". I'm 6'1", 6 feet tall, 210, 215 pounds. So again, Pat, I'm just painting a picture of you. He's relying on one thing: coming to the center of the ring and just being Ezaa, being Big Thing, throwing his weight around, being a bully, and just throwing wild punches. And I'm coming to the ring relying on skill, relying on IQ, relying on footwork, relying on sharp defense, relying on counter punching, relying on everything else in the game other than just one aspect. That's all.
That's a really good answer. That's a good answer, DDK. It's good to see that you seem to be reading your opponent, and it seems like you seem to know what is coming ahead. I want to ask what's way ahead of that, though, even after the fight. Title or not, win, lose, or draw, okay? DDK, you have made a splash in this scene, okay? You have definitely made a name for yourself. What can we expect from you in the next couple of years? Whether it's defending the title, whether we see you on a big platform. We know you have big aspirations. So I'd like you to tell the audience maybe what we can expect from you in the future.
You can expect DDK to be extremely active. I admire guys in the scene like my guy Ant. Shout out Ant Mills. Um, and even though he's only if I did my homework right, even though he only has 3 fights on Breakout, Ant got like 9 fights in the community. You understand what I'm saying? So, and I think this last year and a half or so, Ant was extremely active, right? And so I admire guys like that because at the end of the day, we all are getting this out of the mud, right? We all working 9 to 5s, getting off work, and then doing the work in terms of content, in terms of training, in terms of So I admire a guy like Ant, and that's something that I would be interested in doing, being extremely active. Like you said before, I came into the community and I've made a name for myself off top, off rip, with authenticity, with content, with consistency, with all of those things. So I don't want to stop at all. When I become champion, when my hand is raised, when I have the gold around my waist, I want to be extremely active. I want to be the most active champion in Breakout. I want to be the most active champ. I want to be the most active fighter in Breakout and in the small creative scene. Like, I'm really here to stay, and I really do feel like, honestly, if I could sneak 105, I might have a later discussion with y'all. But that's how active I'm saying I want to be. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah.
You're out here getting active, DDK, and that is definitely what we want to hear, and the fans want to hear. And it's good to see you're here and you're here to stick around. My final question before we get out of here, to any doubters who may doubt you going into this fight with Ezaa, what would you have to say to them right now? And what can they expect from you in the ring more in detail on July 27th, 2024?
Well, I would say to them, keep doubting. You know what I'm saying? So whether you support DDK, whether you doubt DDK, whether you love DDK, whether you hate DDK, I love you all the same. Because at the end of the day, you tuning in to watch DDK. So it does not matter to me what aisle or what side of the aisle you tend to fall on. But in regards to the doubters and to the haters and people who think that I'll come up short or want me to fail, I use that as motivation. When I'm running, I use it as motivation. When I'm training, I use it as motivation. When I'm studying film every night, I'm using it as motivation. So I may not like or retweet or respond to everything on the TL or on social media, but best believe, I promise you, I see it. I know who said it, and I know when they said it, and I use it to my advantage mentally. You know, I keep it as a constant reminder, and I'm so actively involved in paying attention to what the doctors are saying because I keep it as a constant reminder that motherfuckers still don't believe. They still don't believe. They didn't know who you was 6 months ago. You made a name for yourself. They didn't know if you could fight. You broke the record. Now they don't believe that you could slay the giant. You know, so for me, it's just constantly having a challenge is what keeps me going. So I love every hater, every doubter. Keep tuning in, please.
Listen, we're going to talk about it between now and then, but on July 27th, the talk stops because Breakout Heavyweight Championship, it's going down for the heavyweight title. Ezaa versus DDK. Stay tuned for the build-up on Twitter. Subscribe to DDK and make sure to stay tuned for all updates of tickets, merch, everything like that. July 27th, 2024. And if you can't make it, July 28th, 2024, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will see you at the fights. And, yeah. Good shit.
Indeed. Good shit.